appointing Barbara Rivera Holmes to be Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Labor. She will serve the remainder of the term won by Bruce Thompson, who passed away last November. Rivera Holmes will be the first Latino to hold a statewide constitutional office in Georgia. She plans to seek a full 4-year term in the 2026 election. Frontier Airlines is flying checked bags for free after Southwest announced the end of its more than 50-year bag-free policy. Frontier announcing this new promotion on select flights in an effort to bring in rebound customers moving away from Southwest. It's 102.
Your deck is more than just a place to flip a burger or have a cup of coffee. It gathers your friends and family on all your favorite occasions and is there to enjoy every day. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we build beautiful, high-quality decks at a reasonable price. We're licensed and insured, provide exceptional customer service, design help, and we'll work with the materials you want. Strength, durability, beauty. Decks done differently. Built by Nelson Exteriors. Get your free estimate. Google Nelson Exteriors.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we believe in kinder banking. That means speaking to a real person, a state-of-the-art website and mobile app, and kinder banking means offering our members the most competitive rates in the market. This is Andy Harris. Come see us at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
Don't ignore any cracked bricks or concrete, floor or wall gaps, or bowed walls. You could be ignoring underlying foundation problems, and that will hurt the value of your home. Foundation problems? Visit aquaguard.net today and book your free inspection.
AquaGuard.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the traffic center.
New travel advisory in Marietta. Crash in up to 3 right lanes. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. That's already jammed up the ride back toward North Marietta Parkway. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway as an alternate. Second travel advisory continues into Cobb County. This stalled big rig. They cannot get it out of those center lanes. Only a left lane open. 285 east or northbound. The outer loop between Flat Shoals and I-20. You're jammed up from 675. Use 20 east as an alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 78. Watching for a cold front on Thursday. It'll bring morning rain showers and then chilly conditions in the afternoon. High 56, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Temperatures dropping to near freezing by Friday morning.
And WSB Storm Tracker radar is clear. It's sunny and 69 in Canton. Duluth also has 69 degrees. And in Woodstock, it's sunny and 67. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings, conversationalists across America. It's Eric Erickson here, and I am delighted you're with me. The phone number is 877-973-7425. That's 877-97-ERIC. If you want to be on the program, If you text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777, you can get the show notes, the live stream, the podcast, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've got to clarify and correct something I said on the program. So if you're a listener, you know, in my state, we've got these speed cameras outside of schools, and they're a scam, and they legitimately are a scam because the cameras are programmed to only give tickets, allegedly, during school hours for running over the speed zone, the speed limit, except there's a growing body of data that they're giving tickets constantly, even when they're not supposed to. And the state legislature in Georgia right now is considering getting rid of the cameras because of it. So I said on the program the other day, in my county, the county raised $8 million gave $8 million in tickets. I was wrong. It was not $8 million in tickets. The local newspaper actually pulled the research. It was $11 million. And here's the kicker. $1 million of the dollars that were given in tickets by these cameras were during summer vacation period when the cameras are supposed to be turned off. Not to mention Christmas vacation, spring break, fall break, all that. But $1 million can be specifically attributed to fines issued by these cameras in a single county, $1 million issued during June and July when no one's in school. People paid them, and what's so funny is the mayor's like, oh, we didn't collect the money. Well, then it shouldn't be in the revenue statement, and it is. So if you live in Georgia and you text the word ENGAGE to 33777, I'll send you back a link. It's very cool technology. You click it, put in your phone number, your phone will immediately ring, connecting you directly to your state senator so you can tell them to support HB 225 and kill the speed cameras in Georgia. Such a scam. All right. The president has wrapped up his call with Vladimir Putin. That is the big story at CNN. That is the big story at Fox News. That is the big story with the BBC. That is the big story with News Nation. I've got CNBC on. That's the big story on CNBC. At MSNBC, the big story is that Chief Justice John Roberts has rebuked Donald Trump over threatening to impeach judges. Okay. I got to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of the idea of impeaching judges. Now, I had somebody come after me the other day, and he said, this is proof you've been radicalized by MAGA. I can't believe you support impeaching judges. That is a threat to democracy. I was like, listen, you people on the left keep saying I've been radicalized by MAGA. MAGA keeps telling me I'm never Trump. I've been writing about wholesale impeachment of judges since 2004. Like, I have a paper trail going back to the Bush administration on impeaching federal judges. You'll never get it through the United States Senate, but driving up the cost of litigation for these federal judges who aren't paid a ton of money is the perfect way to deter them from overplaying their hand. Absolutely impeach the snot out of federal judges and drive up their costs of litigation. If they want to come after you, impeach them. I am all the way back to the Bush administration. This has nothing to do with me being radicalized by MAGA. I can't think of very many things I've changed my mind on in the last decade. I have been consistent on this since 2004 when I first wrote about it at redstate.com. Impeach the judges. Personally, I would dig up Earl Warren and still impeach him. Nonetheless, I got to move on. We got other stuff to talk about. You will be unsurprised to learn that the biggest proponents of DEI in the United States of America are progressive white women. That is polling from NBC News. They say the nation is divided on DEI. It's actually not divided. It is neurotic white women, the key leaders of the Democratic Party who are the proponents of DEI. I got to read you this. This is one of the wildest things you're going to read. This is from Aaron Sabarium, who writes at the Free Beacon. This is the headline: disqualifying. Member of top Department of Energy physics panel said white empiricism undermines the theory of relativity and accused Israel of genocide. Chanda Prescott Weinstein, appointed to the High Energy Physics Advisory Panel under Joe Biden, has a long history of radical positions. Let me read you Aaron's thread here. A gender studies professor who says white empiricism undermines Einstein's theory of relativity sits on a top advisory panel at the Energy Department. Shonda Prescott Weinstein claims string theory failed to succeed because the field has too many white men. Prescott Weinstein is a professor of physics and gender studies at the University of New Hampshire. She was appointed to the High Energy Physics Advisory Panel, HEPAP, under the Biden administration in 2024. The panel advises the Department of Energy on research and funding priorities for particle physics, giving it significant say over which projects receive federal support. Prescott Weinstein will remain on HEPAP until 2027 unless Trump removes her. Prescott Weinstein's role at the Energy Department has rankled some scientists who say that an institution tasked with directing federal research should not be advised by a woman who, in 2020, wrote that black feminist theory intersectionality should change physics. Her scientific accomplishments seem modest, and her racialist and sexist views of science, combined with her uniquely destructive activism, ought to be disqualifying, says Sergey Kleinerman, a mathematician at Princeton who studies the theory of general relativity. President Trump vowed to eliminate all DEI programs within the federal government. And while Prescott Weinstein is not a DEI official, she's espoused some of the most extreme positions associated with DEI. She raised eyebrows in 2020 when she argued that a culture of white empiricism in which only white people are deemed capable of objectivity undermines a significant theory of the 20th century, general relativity. Seriously. So, you know how you can prove general relativity? You know general E equals mc squared. That's the theory of relativity. That time moves and you can move within dimensions in space, and time is one of the dimensions. The faster you go towards the speed of light, while you yourself don't feel like time is speeding up, back where you're from, time speeds up. So if you go to the center of the Milky Way and back at the speed of light, by the time you come back, maybe it took you, I don't know how many years it would take, but when you come back, your civilization would probably not even be there. It'd be sped up so much. You know how you can prove this? It's actually very interesting. You take a clock to outer space, put it in orbit. You sync it up so that your clock and that clock are the same speed. And when the clock that went to outer space comes back, it's going to be running behind the clock on Earth. In fact, GPS, the theory of relativity, showed you that GPS would be a problem. So the geostationary orbited satellites around the planet that help us determine what the time is and sync all the clocks, they have to be adjusted because otherwise they get out of sync with the Earth-based clocks because of the theory of relativity. But this woman argues that because there are so many white people involved that the theory of relativity can't be right, when just putting a clock in outer space shows it's right. She also blamed racism and sexism for the slow pace of scientific discovery in physics. She said string theory has failed to succeed because the community, which is almost male and disproportionately white relative to other areas of physics, is too homogenous. In a blog post written 2 years later with 3 other scientists, Prescott Weinstein alleged that James Webb, the former head of NASA for whom the agency's telescope is named, had overseen a purge of gay employees in the 1960s, which wasn't really true. She continued making the claim even after it had been debunked in an 89-page report by NASA's chief historian, Brian Odom, who wrote that no available evidence directly linked Webb to any actions or follow-up related to the firing of individuals for their sexual orientation. After Hamas massacred 1,200 Israelis on October 7, 2023, Prescott Weinstein, who describes herself as #Black and STEM and all Jewish, became a vocal apologist for the anti-Israel protests that roiled American campuses and bled into anti-Semitism. She said, quote, "I am enormously proud of the students who have sacrificed to fight back against a genocide. Let the students protest and don't effing snitch. Free Palestine." Prescott Weinstein has also said that white Jews refuse to acknowledge that they benefit from and participate in white supremacy, wasting time that could otherwise be spent upending that white supremacy. The Energy Department declined to comment on Prescott Weinstein's remarks about race and gender, but said she attended a HEPAP meeting in December where she contributed to discussion of several topics, all of which were related to the agenda. One of the topics was the security measures at Fermilab, a national particle physics laboratory overseen by the Department of Energy. During the meeting, Prescott Weinstein expressed concern that the high level of security could exacerbate anti-Asian and anti-Arabic bias. I worry a little bit about the intersection of those kinds of social and structural biases with these kinds of security issues that are put into place. How is the committee thinking about ensuring that people's Title VII rights are upheld? Holy moly. This is someone the Trump administration needs to get rid of. A DEI person, not in a DEI role, but trying to get DEI into string theory and the theory of relativity. Now, related to this is this major story at the Wall Street Journal. Morgan Stanley went big on DEI, and no one's happy about it. After George Floyd's murder in 2020, the investment bank's then CEO James Gorman called out unresolved racial injustice in society and vowed Morgan Stanley would be part of the solution. The bank created an Institute for Inclusion with external advisors to guide its efforts and pledged to boost the share of racial minorities in the executive ranks. Today, the bank faces discrimination accusations and lawsuits, including several in recent months from both black and white workers, and criticism from staff who say the efforts either fell short or were unduly heavy-handed. Even a high-profile initiative aimed at hiring more black employees came under fire after some discovered they were underpaid compared to their peers. An internal review in early 2023 resulted in the firm increasing the employee salaries and paying them tens of thousands of dollars in extra bonuses. The workplace tensions at Morgan Stanley have flared as companies scrambled in response to a reckoning on racial relations and then tried to temper the approach once the legal climate shifted. They should have never gone down this road in the first place. And by the way, you want part of the wildness of this story from the Wall Street Journal? The Wall Street Journal capitalized the word black, but not white. White and black workers. White's not capitalized and black is in the Wall Street Journal. What does that tell you about the biases within the media? Only wealthy white women are embracers of DEI. And, of course, you have some non-white progressives, but it is a progressive thing. And the polling out there shows that only progressives like it. And the Trump administration not only has had enough, they intend to stamp it out across the nation. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has sent letters to 20 law firms requesting information about their DEI-related employment practices because there's a growing body of evidence that major law firms in the country are discriminating against white people. All this is reverse discrimination. That's how companies decided to embrace DEI. Target, of course, went one step further with all of its trans pride clothing for kids. And now trans activists are marching through a Target demanding people boycott it because it's cutting DEI. Do you know why it's cutting DEI? Because it couldn't get the clothes to sell. Apparently no parents wanted to buy their kids trans underwear. But Target's progressive managerial class thought it was a good thing. It fell flat. They've cut it back. And now the left is protesting at Target for rejecting the left's religion. That's all this DEI nonsense is it's part of a secular religion. And you either go along with it or you're a heretic. And guess what? A whole lot of people now are happy to be heretics against the nonsense.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool Ray Carrier, WSP 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory in Cobb County. This crash in Marietta, 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. Still blocks 3 right lanes. You're jammed up almost back toward 575. That means using Highway 41, Cobb Parkway as an alternate. Elsewhere, travel advisory continues into Cab. Stalled Big Rig, 285 eastbound. The outer loop past Flat Shoals, exit 48. That leaves only a left lane open. Use I-20. Traffic brought to you by Callaway Resort and Gardens. Celebrate spring at Callaway Resort and Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Relax at their 4 Diamond Lodge and Spa or a charming cottage experience, vibrant blooms, and immersive art. Plan your spring getaway at CallawayGardens.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Traffic out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
There's a new optimism in the air, and we think investors like you might have the best year ever. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. Last year, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Everyday folks from all walks of life have enjoyed 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of small businesses right here at home. If you're a qualified investor and have a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest rates. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. We believe this is going to be a special year and a great year. We've got the projects. Now we need partners like you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. Purchasers must verify their SEC accredited investor status. Securities are not being offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
So, a guy knocks on your door, shows you a shingle that fell off your roof, and then tells you that your roof needs replacing? Sound familiar? Did he also ask for the name of your insurance company? Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and I want to tell you what you should do the next time someone like this knocks on your door. Smile nicely, say no thank you, close the door, and call Exovations. Why? Because too many times roofers like this end up getting your home insurance policy canceled. At Exovations, we'll first determine if you actually need a new roof. Then we'll discuss all of the roof system and shingle options. And we'll make sure that your roof is installed on time, on budget, and without all the stress caused by Mr. Knock on My Front Door roofing guy. Schedule a free consultation today at exovations.com. That's EXOVATIONS.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB. You may not agree with him, but he tells you the truth. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Hello and welcome. One small bit of housekeeping. If you live in the state of Georgia, you can text the word ENGAGE to 33777. Go into the action portal, call your state senator about the speed cameras in the state. Let's go to the phones. Ted's been waiting patiently. Ted, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
I got two questions, and I'll ask them, and I'll get off because I got to get back on the road. But number one, what do you think, in your opinion, Trump's influence will be on future presidents? I mean, he's done some pretty radical things, so I'm just wondering what we got to look for in the years to come. Secondly, illegal immigrants. It seems like the Constitution is extended to them, and I'm just curious why that is.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's do the second one first. So the Supreme Court has precedent that when you're in this country, with very limited exception, you are entitled to the rights of people in this country. So you come into this country, you're entitled to, with limited exception, you're entitled to the First Amendment right, you're entitled to a trial by jury, you're entitled to the Bill of Rights when you're in the United States. It's something that sets us apart. However, you stand up for terrorists, you get evicted. Oftentimes, the issue is that the executive branch, when it's run by Democrats, turned a blind eye to illegal immigrants, and when Republicans change policy, progressive judges slow them down, but Trump's going to win on that issue. On the issue of future presidency, I actually think that Donald Trump is a necessary corrective in that we're going to get restraint on the presidency. I suspect what's going to happen is you're going to see the federal judiciary rein in the powers of the presidency because of Trump, and that's actually not a bad thing. Everybody should like. We should not have a super powerful president. Congress is the branch that's supposed to be the most powerful. We don't have three co-equal branches of government. The first branch is the predominant branch, and I do think over time you'll see it begin to assert itself again because of what Trump's doing, and that's a healthy thing for our republic. You can actually learn about this in the Constitution 101 class at Hillsdale College if you go to ericforhillsdale.com today. Remember, it's ERICK, ericforhillsdale.com. They've got 40 classes that you can take. They're video lectures by Hillsdale's professors. You can do it at your own pace. They're broken down into short episodes. Depending on the class, you may have 6, you may have 12, and they cover a variety of topics you're going to be interested in, including the Constitution 101 one, which is fantastic. As a lawyer who actually did constitutional law, I learned stuff in it. There's a great one on Genesis, so that you've got theology and philosophy, political science, chemistry, mathematics, basic economics. The economics ones, we could all use to take the economics ones. They're easily understood. They're not over your head. They're just really, really good. It's part of Hillsdale's commitment going back to 1833 in finding Americans where they are and educating them. And it is education, not indoctrination. Go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. You'll not pay a penny for this. Completely free. ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. The White House says that a call between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is now over. It comes as the U.S. pushes to end the war in Ukraine. Ukraine has already agreed to a 30-day U.S.-backed ceasefire proposal, but Russia has been resistant to any deal so far. Over the weekend, the president said negotiators had discussed dividing up certain assets between the two countries. We'll let you know if we find out any more about that phone call. A nearly 40-year-old kidnapping and rape case from Cherokee County is finally solved. Patty Pan with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office telling us what happened.
In January of 1986, a 19-year-old woman was working at a convenience store on Hickory Flat Highway near Lower Scott Mill Road. As she was closing up, she was attacked as she was getting into her car.
DNA evidence has now led to an arrest. 76-year-old Thomas Lamar Keith behind bars today. He's also connected to another sexual assault in that county. WSB's Veronica Waters reporting that a Loganville man has been convicted in a DeKalb County cold case, double murder, and has now been sentenced. The judge gives Kenneth Perry 3 life sentences plus 100 years for the horrifying stabbings of Pamela and John Sumter and the rape of Pamela back in 1990. Governor Kemp has appointed a new state labor commissioner. Barbara Rivera Holmes is the first Latina to hold a statewide office and the first female labor commissioner. Holmes has served previously as the head of the Albany Chamber of Commerce.
As labor commissioner,
I pledge to continue this work, always putting Georgians first. I will advocate for good-paying jobs that tap into our state's talent, ensure safe working conditions, and protect secure benefits.
Holmes will be eligible to run for a full term in 2026. She will fill the remaining tenure for Bruce Thompson, who died last November. Human resources company TriNet is coming to Dunwoody by the end of the year. The move represents a $15.4 million investment into Cobb County. Dunwoody Mayor Lynn Deutsch says they're thrilled.
We're so excited that TriNet has chosen Dunwoody for its location of its corporate center.
Deutsch says Dunwoody is a good fit for the company. She can't say yet where the center will be located. Hiring expected to start immediately. It's 1:32.
I'm thrilled with my Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns inviting you to North Georgia Replacement Windows' brand new Alpharetta showroom. I was blown away. Bring your window and door project to life here. See the fiberglass difference in person. Your stress-free experience includes a quick, accurate proposal, no pressure. Window and door shopping made simple.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah.
O'Reilly. Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Dallas on Ridge Road across from Publix now through March 25th for the grand opening sale. You'll get 2 times O Rewards points on select purchases, including 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil to get to your next reward twice as fast. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your new O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you think you need to renovate your kitchen, but you're worried about the costs? Well, Frugal Kitchens can help you get $1 million looking kitchen for a fraction of the cost and 18 months, no interest financing available. The best part, they can get you back up and cooking in 5 days from the start of construction. Life happens in your kitchen. That's where you build so many memories. If you're like Christy and me, that's why we use Frugal Kitchens, and you can too. FrugalKitchens.com is the website. Go check them out. Don't forget 18 months, no interest financing available. FrugalKitchens.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
Time to paint the house again? Are you tired of shelling out all that money every 5 years?
Hey, it's Jeff and Roxanne, proud and local owners of Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's exterior coating will last you 25 years, improve your home's curb appeal, and is backed by a 25-year warranty.
So delete your painter from your contact list for good. Get a free estimate at rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Alex Williams, how are the roads looking?
Travel advisory continues in Cobb, although they're cleaning up the crash in 3 right lanes. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261, jammed through Marietta. Use Highway 41, Cobb Parkway. And clearing up the stalled Big Rig, 285 east, the outer loop past Flat Shoals, exit 48 in DeKalb. Use I-20 east as you're slow from 675. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today and warm through the afternoon, high 74.
More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's got the courage to tell you the truth because the truth is what matters. You're listening to The Erick Erickson Show.
Howdy. Welcome. It is Erick Erickson here. Across the United States, the phone number is 877-973-7425 if you wish to be on the program. By the way, if you're new to the program, you're wondering, who is this guy? Well, I am Erick Erickson. I'm not in D.C. or New York. I'm actually in Macon, Georgia. Lawyer. I got myself elected to office. Of all, the worst job ever was being on the city council. It was on Fox News, was on CNN, ran redstate.com, been on radio for quite some time. It's the longest job I've ever had now, totally by accident. Fell into this, and here I am. Now, friends, we have to talk about the Democratic Party because this is getting funny. Chuck Schumer is doing damage control. That's the headline in Politico. Schumer is doing damage control. It isn't working. The Senate Minority Leader and his aides in recent days have been talking privately with liberal groups in an apparent effort to ease tensions after sparking a civil war in the Democratic Party over a stopgap funding bill, according to 5 people familiar with the conversations. They were granted anonymity to describe them in a frank manner, and some of the discussions were confirmed by Schumer himself to Politico. The outreach by Schumer and his team included officials at Indivisible. The pro-democratic organization called for him to step down from his leadership position on Saturday over what it saw as his unwillingness to resist Donald Trump. Schumer enraged Democrats across the party on Friday by voting for a GOP bill to prevent a government shutdown. Schumer sided with the GOP and is in a perilous position in his party, drawing furious backlash from Democrats. Speaking of that,
look, I want to show you just a graphic pullout from Politico this morning. It says Democrats are full of despair. We're highlighting Politico, but this could be any one of any number of publications this morning because that's all the reporting. Democrats fighting, Democrats disappointed, Democrats struggling. This after, of course, Senator Chuck Schumer did not block the Senate funding bill, did not move to shut down the government. Let's talk to CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Enton.
Oh, what happened, Harry? Where'd you go? Hang on a second. Harry Enton on CNN talking.
Why are Democrats full of despair? All I have to say, Democrats, call your office. You know, we're March Madness times. Terrible, terrible, terrible. To quote the great Charles Barkley, view Democratic Party favorably. CNN SRS, look at this, 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? How about 27%? Both are record lows. The lowest going back to 1992 in CNN polling, the lowest going back on record to 1990 in NBC News polling. The majority of Americans hold an unfavorable or negative view of the Democratic Party at this point. All I can say is I'm a big fan of the oldies, so I'm going to quote Chubby Checker, how low can you go?
Nice. Well done. With that, what about congressional Democrats specifically?
Yeah, what about congressional Democrats specifically? You think these numbers are low? How about this one? Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40%
only approve. That is bad, 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 bad stuff. Here's the problem. Democrats hate the Democratic Party right now because they feel like the Democratic Party isn't fighting the Republicans. Most Americans hate the Democratic Party right now because they think the Democratic Party is too progressive. But the progressives in the Democratic Party have all the money, not the moderates. Now, meanwhile, another Politico story, moderate dim message to progressives, we're not backing down. Democrats are overperforming at the state level, with centrist candidates flipping one seat and coming close in another in special elections in deep red parts of Iowa. Rahm Emanuel, who once orchestrated a takeover of the House by recruiting Blue Dog Democrats, is eyeing a 2028 bid for president. And leading Democrats like Gavin Newsom and Chuck Schumer are rebuffing the left. The California governor siding against trans players in women's sports, and the Senate Minority Leader veering away from progressive demands to shut down the government. Moderates are having their moments, says Jonathan Cott, the one-time senior advisor to Joe Manchin. I think people are realizing there are many reasons we lost in 2024, but an acquiescence to all of the liberal groups and fighting and dying on hills about 1%, and 2%, and 3% of the voting population care about seem dumb. A fresh batch of public polling over the weekend showed the Democratic Party is facing its worst image crisis in some time. An NBC News poll showed more than half of independents have an unfavorable view of the party. Even their own polling shows a move toward the center. In the party's latest internal survey of congressional battlegrounds, the vast majority of voters say Democrats are too focused on being politically correct, while 51% say the party is elite. Now, Vox.com is a progressive website. They have a story. This is why Kamala Harris really lost, by Eric Levitz. TikTok is making young voters more Republican, so the story claims. Here's the money quote. So let me explain this to you. They interviewed David Shore. David Shore is a progressive who lost his job because David Shore back in 2020 told Democrats they were going too far left after George Floyd, that he was beginning to see blowback in the polling, that the Democrats were going to be hurt by being too liberal. And he got fired for telling the Democrats the truth. So he started Blue Rose Research, or they got hired by Blue Rose Research, which is a major Democratic firm that does a lot of data analysis led by David Shore, who now leads the firm. And David Shore is one of the most interesting and influential data scientists in the Democratic Party. I want to give you the money quote from this massive article at Vox. Again, if you text data to 33777, it's in the show notes. You can see it for yourself. This is the quote you need to understand to appreciate what's going on. And I quote, "There are also some big cultural divides between highly educated people who live in cities and everybody else. And to the extent that we make the cultural signifiers of these highly educated people the face and brand of our party, that is going to make everyone else turn against us." There are some big cultural divides between highly educated people who live in cities and everyone else. To the extent that we make the cultural signifiers of these highly educated people the face and the brand of our party, that is going to make everyone else turn against us. Let me tell you what he's saying. When you make the face of your party a woman with a bulging Adam's apple and facial hair and a deep voice, people don't think that's weird. They think that's creepy. When you believe that you can't shop at Target because Target is not selling trans-affirming swimsuits for 5-year-olds, that's not weird, that's creepy. Here's a little more from the piece. White people only started to polarize heavily on ideology in the 1990s. Non-white voters are starting to polarize on ideology the same way white voters did. If you look at African Americans, they did not swing nearly as much, but in our polling before the Kamala Harris switchover, black voters were poised to swing 7 to 8 points against the Democratic Party. We used to live in a world where to get your message out there, you had to get people who write really well to absorb your message and put it out. Now we're in a world where anyone can make a video, and if that video is appealing, it's going to get out there. Why did Kamala Harris lose? She lost because she was a bad candidate who alienated a lot of people. But beyond that, the Democratic Party itself alienated a lot of people. Whole lot of people alienated by the Democrats. And just think about the issues. They tried to tell you that the economy was good. You know, one of the big stories, top story of the Drudge Report today, is that more and more Americans, a record number of Americans, are working multiple jobs to make ends meet. That's a story from the Biden administration that they're only just now willing to tell. Do you know how many people I know work multiple jobs to make ends meet? Now, it's absurd that it's happened, but it happened under the Biden administration. Actually, it's a trend that goes all the way back to the Obama administration. But when a Democrat's in charge, they don't actually want to tell you that. So more people have to work multiple jobs to get ahead. But it's not just that. You're not safe in your neighborhood because the Democrats decided to defund the police, to reassign priorities to social services. But hey, it's not just that. It's that your daughters now have to compete against boys for college scholarships, and if you object, you're called a bigot. But hey, it's not just that. It's all the in-your-face cultural nonsense of the left, where you're the culture warrior for not liking it. You don't want pornography in your kids' elementary school? Well, you're a culture warrior, and that's bad. You don't think that elementary school students need to be taught about sexuality? Well, you're a homophobe who supports the Don't Say Gay bill. Amplified by an American media that itself is too progressive, too white. The Democratic Party has lots of problems, but here's the beauty of it. Who are the biggest players in the Democratic Party right now? The very same progressives who do not recognize they're in the minority. Remember, I played you that audio yesterday, Molly Youngfast on MSNBC, where on MSNBC, the thing to do is to tell each other, we have a message problem. It's not a policy problem, it's a message problem. We just can't get our message out there. Republicans are just, gosh darn it, they're so effective on TikTok. That's the problem. That's the problem. The Democratic Party doesn't even recognize it's got major problems because it gets its news from the New York Times and it gets its news from MSNBC. It doesn't even get its news from CNN. It gets its news from MSNBC and the New York Times, both of which affirm the Democratic worldview. They don't challenge it. They don't question it. They don't tell them they're out to lunch. They refuse to acknowledge the Democrats have a problem. They are dogmatic in their insistence that the Democrats' only problem is their message, not their policies, which is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The Democratic Party continues to be out to lunch on a host of these issues. And they have very few people willing to tell them the truth. David Shore is one of the people willing to tell the Democrats the truth. And the last time David Shore spoke up, he got fired and chased out of polite society. He got canceled or attempted canceled by the Democrats for daring to tell them they had gone too far left. And he's a progressive. David Shore is a progressive. And even David Shore is like, y'all, we can't be taking these issues publicly. We may believe it privately, but we can't take them publicly. They took them publicly and they lost. And the best they can do is try to blame the Russians. They'll never accept that Donald Trump beat them fair and square by showing voters how creepy the Democrats are. The Democrats call the Republicans weird. There's some weirdness in parts of the Democrat or in parts of the Republican Party. The Democrats, though, they were creepy. They were weird and creepy. You can be weird. You can't be creepy. And the Democrats creep people out. I mean, the relationship between Tim Walz and his wife, you got Kamala Harris's husband and his creepy past. You got the creepy issues that they campaigned on. The Democrats were creepy, and the voters chose Republicans who may be weird, but they weren't considered creepy. Until the Democrats abandon the rich white elites in urban areas, it's not going to get any better for them. Between bank collapses, the upside-down world of finance right now, what's happening with the price of gold, Swiss America has been the trusted leader in precious metals for 40 years, and they have been warning people about a secret war on cash for some time. If you're interested in safeguarding your hard-earned cash from the secret war, you need to check out their free report. They are rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Swiss America can educate you on protecting your assets in their free report, The Secret War on Cash. It takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save you on your retirement and finances. It is completely free. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-289-2646. The All-Out War on Cash includes digital forms of currency. It's growing daily. The government really surveilling how you use your money so that they're trying to take anonymity out of it. You can get the free report completely free. You just mentioned Eric, E-R-I-C-K, when you call or text 800-289-2646. Get the report completely free. Just call or text my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
150 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Better news in Marietta. The crash, 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. Still blocking just one right lane, but that is the better news. Only one right lane block, still slow through Marietta, but heads up. Just found a new stalled big rig behind it on I-75 southbound right where 575 merges in. That blocks the right lane, so that'll keep you slow coming through Kennesaw. And the earlier stalled big rig, 285 east, the outer loop past Flat Shoals, exit 48 now off to the right. Brake lights back to 675. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Experience the flavors of Latin America, even the Latin American event at Whole Foods Market with deals on vibrant ingredients and zesty creations store-wide. Save on no antibiotics ever meat, fresh avocados, and more through March 25th. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst,
there was a lot of trees down and quite a bit of damage.
we're at our best.
Crews are out working, trying to make the right call for the hardest hit areas.
Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature has in store.
One of our local gas stations had the canopy uprooted and landed on top of the actual gas station itself.
With your severe weather station, 95.5 WSB.
Has that paint on your house reached the point of surrender? You really can't put it off another year, right?
It's Jeff and Roxanne, local owners of Rhino Shield. Let Rhino Shield help you with a solution that'll make this the last time you paint.
Rhino Shield ceramic coating will last you 25 years, improve your home's curb appeal, and comes with a 25-year warranty.
Get a free estimate at rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
If you've been taught that all bread is unhealthy, I'm here to tell you not if it's real bread. Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. If you're struggling with weight gain, high cholesterol, constipation, even warts, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, come visit us at the Bread Becker store in Woodstock, where we have taught thousands of customers that real bread might be their healthy solution. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of real whole grains and bread. I discovered that store-bought bread has had most of the nutrients in the grain removed during milling, and yes, even packages labeled 100% whole wheat. Make a healthy eating change in your life at Bread Beckers in Woodstock. We'll show you how bread, but only real bread, might be the answer to your family's physical ills. The Bread Beckers. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Listeners, friends, family, neighbors, heck, even coworkers have asking me about QC Kinetics treatment. Hey, it's Mark Arum. No joke. Coworker the other day asked me about QC Kinetics. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. Well, if you're wondering if you're a good candidate, let's see if you answer yes to any of these questions. First question, is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints? Next, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain? And most importantly, do you miss doing the things you love because joint pain is holding you back? If you answer yes to any of those questions, I bet you're a great candidate with my friends at QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics right now. Ask for your free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can get you lasting pain relief. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Call 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB.
Join
Atlanta's
Eric's
News and
army
Talk.
of activists and let your voice be heard. Text ARMY to 33777.
Yes, text ARMY to 33777, please. You can sign up for activism. So for those of you new to the show around the country, this Georgia effort, if you text ENGAGE to 33777, you can see what it is. You can't participate in that one because it's in Georgia, but if you sign up, if you text ARMY to 33777, as we do activist alerts in your state or for the federal government, you'll get an email. I don't like to do text messages, but you'll get an email if you fill out the form. So you text ARMY to 33777, you follow the link, you fill out your information. If there's an action alert in, say, Texas or Oklahoma, Florida, wherever you are, we'll send it to you by email, and it'll be for you to contact your state representative, your senator, your governor. But also, if there's a nationwide one, we'll do that as well. So, for example, I can envision when the president's tax cuts are ready for passage, we'll be fired up getting people to support the president's tax cuts, things like that. You just text ARMY to 33777. One of the added benefits, though, is you text ARMY to 33777. You put your information in at the top of this link. When you click the link, you'll see My Officials, and you click that, and you've got your own little portal there. It shows you who your senators are, your congressman, your state representative, your state senator, your governor, even your county commissioner or your city councilman. It gives you their phone numbers, their social media links, so you never need to question who your government officials are and how to contact them. All you do is text ARMY to 33777, put in your information, and you have your own little booklet there on the site, courtesy of me, that shows you who all your elected officials are, down to your city councilman, depending on where you live in the nation. Now, I need to call your attention to John Hemingway. He's dead. John Hemingway is dead. 99% of you have no idea who John Hemingway is. I want you to remember John Hemingway's name. He is dead at 105. They called him Patty Hemingway. He was the last surviving Battle of Britain pilot. Originally from Dublin, he joined the Royal Air Force as a teenager before World War II. At 21, he was a fighter pilot in the Battle of Britain, a 3-month period when Air Force personnel defended the skies against the assault of the German Luftwaffe. The Prime Minister paid tribute to Mr. Hemingway, saying his courage and those of all RAF pilots helped end World War II and secure our freedom. The Prince of Wales paid tribute, saying we owe so much to Paddy and his generation for our freedoms today. This is a kind of a big deal. We are seeing the end of an era of the heroes of World War II passing away. The last living, surviving fighter pilot of the Battle of Britain is now dead. Soon, very soon, there will be no men alive who fought in World War II. History continues to move on. We should be mindful and note the passing of the last of these men. When we come back, we got to move on to sports betting. Even athletes are starting to raise alarms about the phenomenon.
Has your driveway, sidewalk, or patio cracked and become uneven? AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can fix it. Simply book your appointment online at aquaguard.net, and AquaGuard will quickly and expertly get it back in shape. Concrete issues? Remember, AquaGuard.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
There's a hidden tax costing hardworking Georgians over $5,000 every year. Governor Kemp's tort reform legislation will end this tax and lower costs for families. It will also protect victims. Listen to Governor Kemp.
The bill that I will sign is not going to keep anyone in this state from receiving the justice that they deserve.
Ensuring our justice system is fair and accessible and lowering costs for us. Tell Georgia's lawmakers, stand with Governor Kemp and pass tort reform. Paid for by Protecting American Consumers Together.
This is Scott Slade. If you think you've had storm damage, get in touch with My Roofer, FGA Roofing. They can respond within 24 hours to assess roof damage and assist in giving you what your insurance company needs to know. Just search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. New details emerging this hour on the Trump-Putin phone call.
CBS News special report. President Trump and Russian President Putin held a critical phone call, speaking for about 2 hours. A readout from the White House says the leaders agreed that the movement to peace will begin with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire, as well as technical negotiations on implementation of a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea, full ceasefire, and permanent peace. It says the negotiations will begin immediately in the Middle East. The BBC's Tom Bateman is in Washington.
One White House spokesman saying during the call that it went, in their words, well, or was going well. It looks as though that call could have been anything up to around 2.5 hours long. Remember, there would be two-way translation in that, so that slows things down a lot. But clearly, a very significant length of time that these two leaders were involved in that conversation.
The Kremlin says that Putin told Trump that the U.S. and its allies must end assistance to Ukraine to halt hostilities. CBS News special report. I'm Matt Piper.
71 degrees in Atlanta. Does a cold front bring us any rain this week? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. The city of Atlanta is planning major upgrades to its aging water system.
The plan's meant to ensure city residents have reliable access to clean drinking water for decades to come. Mayor Andre Dickens says it would take 20 years.
We know that it's going to be in the billions. $2 billion is the latest estimate.
It's something he says is a long time coming.
These are 100-year-old issues in the making. We're digging pipes underground, out of the ground, that have broken, that are 100-year plus in age.
An advisory team will help guide the city through the process. It's chaired by former Mayor Shirley Franklin. In Atlanta, Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Today's announcement comes as the city works on a water main break right now in northeast Atlanta. It's at Lindbergh Drive near La Vista. A pipe near a fire hydrant burst, causing part of the sidewalk to collapse. Crews are now working to make repairs. Governor Kemp today appoints Barbara Rivera Holmes to be commissioner of the Georgia Department of Labor.
She brings an unmatched combination of knowledge and ability to this role that will benefit all those looking for work.
Rivera Holmes will serve the remainder of the term won by Bruce Thompson, who passed away last November. She will be the first Latina to hold a statewide constitutional office in Georgia. It is now 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
It's Eric. Are you thinking of adding value to your house, or just you want more convenience and more comfort in your kitchen? Frugal Kitchens can get you one of those $1 million home kitchens at a fraction of the cost. They want to talk to you about how you can go through their process, get your new dream kitchen up and going, and you can be cooking in 5 days from the start of construction and get 18 months no interest financing available. It's what Christy and I have done. Life happens in your kitchen, and Frugal Kitchens can put you in a great one. FrugalKitchens.com.
When it rains, it pours. It's not a matter of if it's going to storm, it's when. Hi, this is Candace with Exovations, and have I got a tip for you? There are only a few things you can be certain of living in Georgia. The weather is absolutely uncertain, storms are coming, and with that, the storm chasers blew in. You know, the ones that show up, canvass your neighborhood for a free inspection, make deals that are too good to be true, tell you all the neighbors are doing it, and then once they're done, they're gone like the wind. Everyone says they offer a lifetime warranty, but it only lasts as long as the company's in town. At Exovations, we will install your roof on time, on budget, and without all that stress that you usually hear about in construction, which means we stand behind our warranties. We provide you with written documentation, and we will be here to weather the next storm. So let it rain. We've got you covered. Visit exovations.com to schedule your free consultation today.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that convenience is key. That's why we've made mattress shopping simple and stress-free. Shop in-store or online, whatever works best for you. No high-pressure sales tactics or fake promotions. Our prices are clearly marked, and we openly compare our products to other brands. With our streamlined selection, you won't be overwhelmed by duplicate options, and our 365-day comfort policy provides for peace of mind. Experience the ease of buying factory direct. Visit OMF today for better sleep tonight.
If you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Mark Spain Real Estate allows you to receive an all-cash offer on your home and close in as little as 21 days. Hassle-free, guaranteed. Trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
At 2:05, Alex Williams in the 24-hour traffic center.
Crash in Marietta, still in the right lane. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. You're on and off the brakes. Back up into Kennesaw because before that, we just had a stalled big rig clear out of the right lane. 75 southbound, right where 575 merges in. Crash in the right lane into Cobb County, 85 southbound, Pleasantdale Road, exit 96. That's got you on the brakes coming out of Duluth from Pleasant Hill Road. And left lane construction continues, 400 southbound, the ramp to I-85 southbound between Buckhead and Midtown. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 74, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 78. Watching for a cold front on Thursday. It'll bring morning rain showers and then chilly conditions in the afternoon. High 56, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Temperatures dropping to near freezing by Friday morning.
69 in Marietta, 72 in Riverdale, 71 in Lawrenceville. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Greetings, America. Welcome. It's Eric Erickson. My goodness, am I delighted to have you with me across the fruited plain. The phone number is 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425. If you want to be on the program, if you text the word ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777, you can follow me around social media on Instagram, Twitter, and the like. Always find ways to plug you into the program. Don't forget to subscribe to the show notes. I gotta move to the really controversial subject of the day. This is actually becoming less controversial, but to get there, we've got to talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias. It was described by David Dunning and Justin Kruger in 1999, and it is simply this. People with limited competence in a particular domain overestimate their abilities in that domain. A little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. A little bit of ability in something, many people who have limited ability in something think they're an expert. This is not to be a jerk. I'm going to use this example, and I don't mean it to be a jerk. I've had a lot of people email me or leave comments on my morning Substack piece or come after me on Twitter for explaining why the auto pin signature doesn't matter on the pardons Joe Biden gave. Now, for those of you who don't know, if you weren't here yesterday, I was not just a lawyer. I was a lawyer who did corporate and commercial law. And corporate and commercial law is really where signatures come in. And there's actually a long history about signatures. What is and is not someone's identifying mark? How is it placed on paper? I had a lawyer yesterday say, well, a pardon isn't the same as commercial law. That's true. But the basis for signatures in commercial law comes from common law, and the common law goes back to the 1600s on the kings of England and whether they affixed their seals to papers or had someone do it for them, and whether it was binding if the king himself did not place his seal and then ultimately his signature on documents. And the general rule of thumb is that if I tell you to sign my name to a check, and you sign my name to the check, I, not you, am legally bound to it because it was my intention that the check be signed with my signature. May not look like mine, but I'm bound by it if that was my intention. Now, you can argue over Joe Biden's intentions. You can argue over his cognitive decline. You can argue over all those things. But the argument in play is that the use of the auto pin made a pardon invalid. And I can tell you, as someone who actually knows this area of the law very well, it does not. But what I marvel at are the people who are lawyers but don't deal with this, who are very assured that I'm wrong, but more so the number of people who are not lawyers, did not practice law, never went to law school, who have a firm opinion that actually what they read from someone else on the internet must be true. They have a limited competence in a particular domain, and they've overestimated their abilities to understand that domain. And again, I don't mean this to be a jerk. It's just a great relevant example. The number of people who don't practice law, didn't go to law school, but assure me that an auto pin makes a pardon invalid, and they're simply wrong. I actually know this area of the law very well. I used to have to deal with it on a pretty regular basis with fraud, forgeries, and things like that. All that is to say is that whether it's in medicine or business or politics or flying a plane or you name it, people who have a limited ability very often overestimate their abilities. In the same way, People who are high performers in an area often underestimate their own capabilities. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. One of the greatest examples of the Dunning-Kruger effect is sports betting. You watch a football game all the time and you pay attention to the stats. Therefore, you think that you are a genius at it. We would not have sports betting in this country if the odds were ever in your favor. We have sports betting in this country because a lot of people think they know a lot about sports, and they don't. I have to give my usual disclaimer here, and that is this. I don't care if you put money on a game. All my friends do it. I don't do it. I play craps when I go to Las Vegas. That's the only gambling that I do. I rarely buy a lottery ticket unless it gets to like $1 billion. And then I figure, $2, might as well take a chance. I'm going to lose, but might as well. I play craps. Craps is the only game in a casino where the odds are close to being in your favor. Not really in your favor, but close. And if you play very conservatively like me, 9 times out of 10, I walk away with more money. I can only think of like 2 or 3 egregious times where I lost money at the craps table. Almost every time I come away with more money because I play super conservatively and annoy the snot out of the dealers. I don't bet on sports because I don't keep up with it enough. My friends who keep up with it bet on sports, and to a person, they almost always wind up losing. They can win some money, but over time, they don't. And what I am annoyed by more and more is if you turn on ESPN or any other sporting channel, they are now incentivizing you to place bets on sports. It is the media itself encouraging you to place bets on sports. I've got friends of mine who part of their job is they do podcasts, giving you the odds on placing bets. There's a story out from a gambling awareness site on Instagram. A gambling addiction counselor says her youngest client is 15 years old. He stole his grandmother's Social Security number and rang up a $900,000 debt on FanDuel. He was betting during school. He was betting at night when he was supposed to be sleeping. A lot of bets. He had side bets going on in school with his peers. The way he would pay his bookies in school was to order Uber Eats for everybody, and he would pay them off with food. It's a real problem. Now, I wasn't going to actually make a whole segment out of this story. And by the way, you should know that I have turned down sports betting ads for my program. You may hear them during the show, but they're not by me. I have been offered lots of money to be the voice for sports ads or for sports betting apps. And I can't bring myself morally to do it. I'm not morally opposed, again, to you placing a bet on sports. So God bless you. You want to go place a bet on what your favorite team is doing? Go for it. My problem is I see where this is headed as a society where you individually are not the problem, but collectively we have a massive number of young men who are going to be in debt up their eyeballs in terrible situations because they are convinced by the Dunning-Kruger effect that they have proficient knowledge in sports when they really don't, and they're out a lot of money. And marriages get ruined, lives get ruined, all sorts of stuff. Spencer Strider plays for the Braves. Great player. He is a pitcher with the Braves. They interviewed him at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on this. Here's his quote. They're violent in nature, mostly degrading. You can't help but see these things, so it's not like anybody's going out and looking for it. It's just odd that even when you do well and the outcome that most people are interested in is achieved, there are still people that are frustrated with your performance. I'm always frustrated with my performance, and I myself, so I can appreciate that in a person, but it's weird. The messages are always, sometimes people say, you owe me money, you didn't do this, stuff like that. It's so odd, he says. One of the biggest problems in my mind with sports gambling and how it manifests itself in a number of ways is it's so popularized now that people are interacting with the team or with the player or with whole games that their first desire is not for the team to win the game or not for the player to do well. It's for a certain circumstantial or inconsequential thing to occur toward the outcome of the game, Strider said. So before everybody was addicted to sports gambling, it was, I want my team to win. I want my favorite player to do well, not I need them to catch 4 passes regardless of the outcome of the game. So that's a weird thing. So I get, and other guys obviously do too, negativity from fans that are gambling regardless of how we perform. It's a weird thing. Michael Harris, the second with the Braves, says, I guess whenever you go on social media, you see something about the sports betting app or somebody that bet on somebody that didn't really do what they need them to do. I guess sometimes you hear about it, but I always tell them that's your fault for betting the wrong thing. You picked me to do something good, and I did something bad. You should have picked me doing something bad. It's your fault. I mean, that's true, but y'all, this is becoming a real problem with young men. And for those of you who don't engage in sports betting, it's not just that you're betting on which team will win. You can bet on how many touchdowns are going to be scored, who's going to do it, will the quarterback score a touchdown, will the quarterback throw to a particular person multiple times, will the pitcher do 3 strikeouts in a row, will anybody hit it, will there be a no-hit pitch. I mean, you can do any of these combinations, and people look at the stats. They think they know what they're doing. They get themselves in debt up to their eyeballs. It's ruining marriages. It's ruining lives. There is a moral hazard that is obvious, and there are people who get paid to do sports betting who will double down and defend it. It's all for pleasure. It's all for fun. The consequences of this are getting out of hand. Georgia, where I am, is one of the very few states left in the nation where sports betting is not legalized. There's a big effort to legalize it. And I got to tell you, for the longest time, I was a pretty big proponent of legalized sports betting in my state. It made sense to me. Every other state is doing it, and all my friends who live in the state are already doing it. But I had to change my mind. This is one of the things I've changed my mind on. I see more and more lives being wrecked. And I see the guys who are doing the sports betting and incentivizing the sports betting and doing the TV shows where they're giving you the odds, and they rationalize it and they justify it, and it's no big deal, and that person had a problem and they shouldn't have been doing it, but it's fun for everybody else. Pay no attention to the salary that I'm getting to do it. I just think it's wrong at this point. I think that we're headed towards social calamity. It's like the legalization of marijuana. For the longest time, I thought no big deal, no harm, no foul. You don't have to smoke it if you don't want to smoke it. And every day now, I get passed by somebody in a car who's clearly smoking weed, who should not be on the road. And it's not enforced because they can say it's hemp, and you know and I know it's not. You can see the rise in family violence in Colorado and the collapse of families, the rise in unemployment, the addiction to other drugs. You can see the social fallout from the legalization of marijuana. But everybody's like, hey, you don't have to do it. You don't have to participate in the sports betting. You don't have to smoke the weed. No, I don't, and I don't. But look at the societal fallout of what's actually going on out there. Look at the impact on the local communities. Look at the impact on families. And you got to think this isn't nanny statism. This is actually a societal harm that we're going to be picking up the pieces for. And so the question is, do you want to pick up the pieces now or make it more prolific and then pick up the pieces later? We're already at a point in our society where we're at a negative birth rate. Society is collapsing. We have fewer and fewer people reproducing in our society. And again, if you want to sit on your porch, I have friends who sit on my porch and play sports bets. Okay. I don't have a problem with it. You individually. But when you extrapolate it out into society, I can see where the problems are. And I guess the big issue is, if you want to place a bet on sports, that's fine. But do we really need the ESPNs of the world and the sports networks of the world and the news medias of the world to be incentivizing the betting, to make it as common and as acceptable as it is? There are things that we have always had in society where if you just did it quietly, no one cared. But when it spills over to popular society, you can see the harm it's doing in society. Now, it's nice to see guys like Spencer Strider, a professional baseball player, speaking out and saying, no, I see the harm this is doing. It's changing the way people look at games. It's not a good situation. It's not. I don't care individually if you do it. I know people who do. But I'm not sure we as a society should be cheering it on. And that's where I draw the line on this stuff. You've got a kid in school, a 15-year-old who stole his grandmother's Social Security number, who racked up $900,000 in debts. This is a problem.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Better news in Marietta and Kennesaw. Long-lasting crash. I've been in the right lane, 75 South Delk Road, exit 261. That is off to the right, as well as a stalled Big Rig 75 South at 575. So still seeing some brake lights between Kennesaw and Marietta. We've cleaned up nicely from the stalled Big Rig 285 eastbound, the Outer Loop Flat Shoals, exit 48 there in DeKalb County. Just a few brake lights getting past I-20. Traffic brought to you by Georgia United Credit Union. Georgia United Credit Union has cooked up something special, a 15-month limited time CD with an incredible 4.2% APY. Turn your dough into more dough by visiting gucu.org/CD today. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the weather is at its worst?
Potential area of rotation. That is to the northwest of Acworth. That is right on top of I-75.
We're at our best.
Emergency management centers throughout the metro, they are now open.
Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature has in store.
Trees and power lines down near the Pickett's Mill battlefield site.
With your severe weather station, 95.5 WSB.
Is painting the house on your project list? Make this the last time you paint with Rhino Shield, backed by a 25-year warranty.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Hey folks, it's Eric Erickson here. Well, it's Trump 2.0 now, and things are changing quickly. Every day, changes to taxes, tariffs, foreign policy, moving at a pace we haven't seen in a very long time, definitely not in the last 4 years. What about your retirement plan? Many of you know about the Magnificent Seven stocks like Apple, Amazon, Meta. They've been behind a lot of the market's recent growth. I saw my buddy David Nicholas on Stuart Varney show the other day. David is my wife's and my financial advisor, and he was talking about what he calls the MAGA 7 stocks and sectors he thinks are going to have the most opportunity in this new Trump administration era. Well, you know, David gave my wife and me a complimentary Morningstar analysis. It's $1,000 value, but right now my listeners can get it complimentary. He's going to give you guys what he gave my wife and me. If you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement, call Nicholas Wealth Management. Get this unbelievably valuable analysis for free. David and his team will review it with you, give you some total clarity, and get you ready for your nest egg in this new era. So if you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement, please go to nicholaswealth.com. That's NICHOLAS wealth.com. Or call 678-990-8500. That's 678-990-8500 or nicholaswealth.com.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. This is prepared for informational purposes only. It does not address specific investment objectives or the financial situation and particular needs of any person who listens to this show. Eric Erickson is a current client and is paid for this ad.
The foods we eat can be downright bad for our health. This is Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've been teaching the truth about real bread. Not the stuff you buy at the store. I'm talking real bread made with freshly milled flour. When you buy bread from the store, take a look at the ingredients. Enriched flour means that the nutritious bran and germ has been removed to improve the shelf life. Then a few B vitamins and iron are added back to replace the multitude of nutrients lost. That's not enrichment in my book. And today, that label may even read contains bioengineered food ingredients. Food should never be bioengineered. At Bread Beckers in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real bread loaded with fiber and nutrients. A delicious, healthy, affordable solution that can improve your health and change your life.
Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Looking to get organized in style? The brand new Artisan Custom Closet showroom is now open near Trilla Studios in Fayetteville. Come experience the Artisan difference. Meet with a designer for your free consultation and start your custom project today. See more at artisancustomclosets.com.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Join Eric's army of activists and let your voice be heard. Text ARMY to 33777.
Greetings, Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number 877-973-7425 if you want to be on the program. As always, around the internet, you can follow me, E.W. Erickson, E-W-E-R-I-C-K-S-O-N, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, E.W. Erickson. Let me go to Leonard on the phones here. Leonard, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for taking my call. And this is a topic that I think needs to be heard. I'm almost 60 now, and I used to bet all the time, college out of college. And, you know, I stopped about 15, 16 years ago because it just wasn't fun anymore. And trust me, I lost money. But now I see my young relatives betting with their phone, and not only betting on games, but the money throwaway are these prop bets. These parlays and these teasers, and it just shows how it's just out of control. And ESPN and all these people support it.
Yeah, that's, you know, and again, Leonard, in my personal view, somewhat libertarian. If you want to play sports bets, play sports bets. I have friends who sit on my front porch and do it during football season. But the online, constant, in your face, here are these betting odds. Let's have a segment here now on ESPN about the game tonight, or you name the TV network where a game is on. They're going to incentivize you by seeming to give you knowledge of the game. Where you're going to be able to do it. And then, of course, you know, there's the side thing of so many people are watching sports now on streaming platforms. The streaming platforms always delay, so you can be betting on something to happen in the game and an upcoming play that's already happened, and you don't even know it. Again, I have a policy on my program where I will not advertise for the sports betting apps. I've been offered way more disproportionately high money compared to my standard ad rate to do it, and I have given up the income because I just don't want to participate in what I see is coming, which is something very bad. Now, what I see is very good is Vision Computer. They're willing to help you stay on the technology A game, get you an AI compatible computer, bleeding edge graphics card. You can do it all and save money by going to 404 Compute. Call them at 404 Compute or go to visioncomputers.com. Vision Computers builds great computers, but they also have just 5-star customer service. You do not have to take my word for it. If you go to Google and you put in Vision Computers, you can click on the review tab and see they've got thousands of 5-star reviews. I get calls all the time and emails to this program from people who went to Vision instead of the big box one-size-fits-all electronics store. They had Vision deal with their computers. They save money. They got a better machine. And then if you buy the machine from them, you get their 5-star customer service for free. But if you don't have a computer from them, just $179 a year, you can get their 5-star customer service for your computer. They can even be the IT department for your company per computer. You go to visioncomputers.com or call them at 404-COMPUTE. If you call them at 404-COMPUTE, you say Eric sent you, you're going to save even more money. Visioncomputers.com or 404-COMPUTE.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. The city of Atlanta moves ahead with plans for major water upgrades. Atlanta's Chief Strategy Officer Peter Amon says the 20-year, multi-billion-dollar plan would see miles of underground pipes replaced, along with improvements to the city's water facilities.
This large and complex program will require several steps, including both fully assessing our above and below ground assets, prioritizing needed improvements based on risk and impact and condition.
Today's announcement follows a series of major water main breaks last summer. The White House says President Trump and Russian President Putin have agreed to start talks on a limited ceasefire with Ukraine. The two leaders spoke on the phone for about 2 hours today. The Kremlin says Russia has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire on strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Putin also confirms a prisoner swap with Ukraine will take place tomorrow. DNA matching helps authorities in Cherokee County make an arrest nearly 40 years after a 19-year-old woman was kidnapped and raped. The suspect, identified as 76-year-old Thomas Lamar Keith. Patty Pan with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Department says she talked with the victim about the arrest.
She is both shocked and relieved. She actually told me she never thought she would ever see this day.
The young woman was attacked in January of 1986 while closing up a convenience store on Hickory Flat Highway. The suspect is currently a registered sex offender in Fulton County. A big win for Dunwoody.
We're so excited that TriNet has chosen Dunwoody for its location of its corporate center.
Marilyn Deutsch says TriNet's new 150,000 square foot corporate center will create 750 jobs over the next 5 years. She is not saying where it will be located. It is now 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing.
When it comes to defending downed bikers' rights, trust is everything and results matter. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, local motorcycle injury attorneys who ride. They specialize in protecting bikers who've been hurt. The mega firms will send an investigator or a paralegal, not a lawyer. With Steel Horse Law, you'll meet directly with your own attorney to get you back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 3546.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Seeing brake lights, 285 eastbound, the inner loop through Dorville, and 285 northbound, the outer loop through Tucker. It's all trying to get onto 85 northbound. That's partially due to a construction zone that's in the HOT lane, 85 northbound at Pleasantdale Road, exit number 96. Elsewhere, still got construction in Johns Creek, Medlock Bridge, both north and southbound, just north of Abbott's Bridge Road. You're slow both ways there. And the left lane construction continues 400 southbound out of Buckhead towards Midtown on the ramp to I-85 southbound. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Sunny skies today and warm through the afternoon, high 74.
More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Smart, fearless, and occasionally funny. You're listening to The Erick Erickson Show.
My fellow Americans, it is Eric Erickson, coast to coast now. Kind of wild. From Alaska to Miami, from Sacramento to Connecticut. We're just throwing the show. We're in like North Dakota and Montana and Louisiana. I love you people in Louisiana. As you know, I'm from Louisiana. Can't wait to get over to see you guys and eat at Prejean's and Lafayette and go to Don's and just gorge on gumbo that I don't have to slave over. Okay, the phone number, 877-973-7425, should you wish to be on the program. I would love to have you be on the program. We need to talk about something that Greg Abbott said on television. Governor Abbott is a friend. I have done my show from his house in Texas. So Governor Abbott was on CNBC, had this conversation with Joe Kernan about Donald Trump's immigration plans and agenda and how it's operating.
Never seen a change as much as we saw 4 years ago, and now this year, with regard to what's happening on the border. What began happening 4 years ago, of course, was a complete failure to enforce the immigration laws of the United States of America, and as a result, we saw an all-time record number of people crossing the border illegally, more than 11 million people, including people who are known murderers, rapists, and gang members and cartel members. And as a result, the crime across the country skyrocketed. Now, in the immediate aftermath of the Trump election and Trump taking office, it's gone from 11 million people crossing the border illegally to just a trickle, as in just a handful of people. I was with some officials from El Paso last night, and they said that where there had been 3,000 people crossing the border sometimes a day just in El Paso, there were now nine people a day. And the people who do make it across the border now, they are immediately arrested and then deported, and as a result, discouraging people from entering the border again. And so, quite literally, in February was an all-time recorded low of the number of people crossing the border illegally. And we are seeing that now in the state of Texas with a massive reduction in illegal entries into our state.
A massive reduction of illegal entries into our state. That's Greg Abbott on CNBC about Donald Trump's immigration agenda. So Democrats are offering up today that no one actually cares about immigration anymore, that it was just, it was Republicans talked about it all the time when Joe Biden was president. It worked people up, and now that Donald Trump is president, nobody's talking about it, and so obviously it's declining the polls. You understand that no one's really talking about it as much, except we are, obviously, with the judges and stuff. It's that Donald Trump did what Joe Biden did not do. Donald Trump has fixed the problem. The amount of crossovers, the amount of border crossings is down dramatically from when Joe Biden was president. This isn't hard, and it's amazing to me that the Democrats can't, at this point, be honest. The Democrats always want everyone else to admit they were wrong, and the Democrats themselves, patently, constantly, refuse at all times to ever admit they were wrong. I played this audio yesterday, but this is worth playing again. This is from Harris Faulkner's Faulkner Focus on Fox News about passages through the Darien Gap there at the edge of Panama and Colombia.
Let's take a look at this. It is one of the most dangerous, treacherous stretches of landscape to get to this country, the Darien Gap. Many people die along the trail there. There were 408 crossings through there last month. Now, there are ways to go around it, but can you even imagine? If we know that number of how many came through, how many didn't make it? That's a massive drop from August 2023. You ready for this? 82,000. If 408 still sounds like a lot because many of them are children who are being carried, we know that from the reporting that's gone on. 82,000? How many people died trying to get here? I mean, this is huge evidence against the Biden-Harris administration that they weren't just derelict in their duties. They were deadly dangerous.
That's a massive, massive number. From 82,000 in August of 2023 to 37,000 in February of 2024. Notice when it started becoming a campaign issue, they slowed it down to 408 total people crossing the Darien Gap in February of 2025 at the border between the United States and Mexico. You're talking dozens of people a day now. All it took was a different president of the United States. It did not take new laws by Congress. It took a new president. And what's remarkable to me is how federal judges appointed by Democrats are trying to stymie the effort and block the deportation of people who aren't even supposed to be in the country to begin with. This, as I mentioned earlier in the program, the first hour, this is a fight worth having between President Trump and the judiciary. They need to have this fight. And what is happening on the other side? You have Democrats re-upping their faith in sanctuary cities, but the Trump administration is fighting them, basically saying, we're going to cut your government funding if you do these sanctuary cities. They're still going to try it, and they'll fight the Trump administration with progressive courts, but they're turning more violent. There's been an arson attack in Las Vegas now at a Tesla dealership. Several Teslas were set on fire at a service center in Las Vegas this morning. The incident is being treated as arson by local police. The FBI is involved. I don't even have to speculate about the, progressive intentions. The FBI is on the scene. The Las Vegas Review-Journal is reporting this. The arson incident unfolded at 2:45 a.m. It appears to be an attack based on the political motivations of Elon Musk. The left is turning violent because they're losing. You see, the left believes that it is on what they say, Barack Obama used it all the time, the right side of history. That's what they believe. That's what they argue. The right side of history. And when you believe you are on the right side of history, you can't be dissuaded that you're wrong. There is no humility when you believe you're on the right side of history. When you're on the right side of Jesus, you got a lot of humility. When you're on the right side of history, you have no humility at all. And the left would prefer to be on the right side of history than the right side of Jesus. They don't even believe in him. And they've decided that they're out of power and they need to exert their influence in some way. And so they are using federal judges to try to block Donald Trump deporting illegal gangbangers. It's wild. Last week, Scott Jennings from CNN tweeted, only a matter of time before Democrats use judges to protect the Venezuelan gangbangers in the United States. A week later, a federal judge is trying to protect the Venezuelan gangbangers in the United States. And how do we know that they're members of the gang in Venezuela? We know because the Biden administration figured it out. The Biden administration labeled these people as criminals from Venezuela. And you know what the spin is today from Democrats? Well, we need to be sure. We need a federal hearing by a progressive judge to be sure they're really the violent people that Donald Trump says they are because Joe Biden said they were. How can we believe Joe Biden? Yeah, Democrats, how can you believe Joe Biden? Isn't it odd now? They want to second-guess decisions made by Joe Biden all of a sudden. In the process, they want to burn down Teslas. Mark Kelly is the Arizona senator, the astronaut turned senator. He had a Tesla in Washington, D.C. He's traded it in for a Chevy Suburban. Now, I would rather a Chevy Tahoe than a Suburban. I don't need the extra length. I like the Tahoe. I love my GMC Denali. I gotta get a new one. It's almost to 100,000 miles. I gotta trade it in before it gets to 100,000. I love it though. Gonna get another one. But all these people who got the Teslas because the climate demands it. The climate says we need battery powered vehicles. It's very notable that they're willing to save the environment, except Elon Musk has radicalized them now, and they're hostile and on the left. and they got to go after Elon Musk. So apparently, to Mark Kelly, it was great to virtue signal that he would get an electric car, and then he traded in his electric car, not for a different electric car, but for a gas-guzzling SUV made in Detroit. It's not actually made in Detroit, somewhere else in the country. So he was willing to virtue signal his love of climate, but he's willing now to virtue signal his hatred of Elon Musk. Environmental bona fides and environmentalist zeal stops when it comes to partisanship. They don't want to save the planet so much as they want to hurt Elon Musk. They want to burn up Teslas. And this is the problem with so much of the left's agenda, is the left's agenda is premised on hurt. You know how they say it's the cruelty is the point. So what they say about Donald Trump, the cruelty is the point. That's called projection, folks. The cruelty is the point for the Democrats. They want to force you to use other people's pronouns because it's them exercising power over you. If the trans kid in your college class can get you punished for not using their preferred pronouns, it's that trans kid exerting power over you. The power of thought, the power of voice, the power to control your reality, to force you to say that she is a he because that's what she wants, or that the singular is a plural they. It's all about exercising power over you. That's why you got to stand up against it. The left thinks that Elon Musk should be on the side. They loved Elon Musk when they thought he was a liberal. They loved him. They celebrated him. They wrote hagiographic biographies of Elon Musk when they thought he was on the left. He comes out for Donald Trump. Now they got to burn up the Teslas, throw away their books, sell their Teslas, burn up the Teslas, and trade them in for gas-guzzling SUVs because stopping Musk is more important than saving the planet. You can't save the planet unless you stop Elon Musk, apparently. The man who built hyper-efficient solar panels and battery backups to power your home to save the planet based on the subsidies from the federal government that all you people on the left wanted, and now he's bad. It's all bad. It's bad because you're not in charge. And it's another reason why the left should not be put back in charge. All it took was a new president of the United States to solve the problem at the border. That issue has now faded in the polling. It's number 4 in the polls. You know where climate change is? It's not even in the top 10. People don't care about it. People have recognized how destructive it is to our economy to go down the climate change rabbit hole. Good white progressives care about climate change, so the rest of us are supposed to. But I got to tell you, I'm just tired of having to care about something because a white progressive tells me I got to care about it. It's still wild to me that the white progressives concluded that it was racism to think that COVID came from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. But no, it wasn't racist at all to presume that those Chinese people were eating pangolins and bats. That's not racist. It's that it came from a lab. That's racism. Thinking the Chinese are eating bats from a wet market spreading viruses. No, that's not racist at all because that's what the progressive left believed. The biggest racists I know are the white progressives who insist they're anti-racist. The biggest threats to democracy I know are the white progressives who insist Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. The biggest hypocrites I know are the progressives who insist that we need a slave class of illegal immigrants in this country to take care of their moms and dads because they're too cold and cowardly and cruel to actually take care of their own parents. And the public decisively rebuked them in November, and now they're just having a break with reality because they can't deal with it. I got to tell you, watching progressives continue to melt down over this, it actually is very, very funny. They don't know. They really somehow got it in their head that they would have power forever and ever, amen, and they don't anymore, and they don't know how to handle it. One of the things they've also done, in addition to trying to silence you and censor you, is they've tried to debank you. and shut you down. Mike Ring is the CEO of Old Glory Bank. He's testified before Congress recently on this trend that, to some degree, there actually are laws where if certain transactions are flagged, banks have to suspend your accounts. But what progressives did is they convinced banks to essentially use that law to debank conservatives and then say, well, we can't tell you there's a federal law. But we know based on the pattern and practice, they were targeting conservatives. They were in particular targeting gun stores and people who trade in guns, people who make guns, and they were trying to essentially go around the Second Amendment and shut down the ability of people who make and build guns to financially transact. That's where Old Glory Bank comes in. They're by conservatives for conservatives, and they are very friendly to conservatives, and they're not going to debank you. You get an account, they're going to support you. You don't have to worry about your bank turning on you because of your politics or because you have to make guns or sell guns or run a gun store. You can get a business account or a personal account at Old Glory Bank. All you do is go to oldglorybank.com, oldglorybank.com. I've been a customer there for 2 years myself, oldglorybank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, terms and conditions apply. You can also invest in Old Glory Bank. One of the ways they're bypassing progressive wokes buying their stock and then seeking to control the company is they're opening their sales of stock directly to Main Street instead of going on Wall Street. If you're interested in looking into it, go to own.oldglorybank.com, own.oldglorybank.com. Stock goes up and down. It's not FDIC insured. There are risks involved. You should talk to a professional, but you can check out ownership in Old Glory Bank as well. I have done it as well.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
251 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center, getting even slower on the inner loop, 285 eastbound, leaving Georgia 400 over to I-85 Spaghetti Junction, partially due to construction, still in the HOT lane, 85 northbound, Pleasantdale Road, exit number 96. Heading into town, you're already seeing the brake lights, 75-85 northbound, slowing before University Avenue, up past Freedom Parkway, southbound delays from the 85-400 merge, and the left lane construction continues on the 400 southbound ramp to 85 southbound, slowing the ride out of Buckhead. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now, 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It's Erick Erickson here. Every single day now, I deal with a malicious requests to click a link. My daughter the other day got a text message some of you have probably gotten. Click on it and pay your toll, and it's just a scam. All these things keep happening. They're preying upon the young, senior citizens, and you and me. But there's good news. Vision Computer is here to help you. If you have their managed service, you're never alone, and in just 15 seconds, expert tech support is at your fingertips, ready to protect you from online threats, scams, and computer problems. And you don't have to take my word for it. We're a Vision Computer household, but they've got thousands of 5-star reviews beyond my household reviews, but I'd give them 5 stars too. They've got thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews because they're simply the best. Call them at 404-COMPUTE today or visit them online at visioncomputers.com, because when it comes to your security, you can't afford to wait. Vision will take care of you. Tell them I sent you. Call them at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Howdy. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Senator Shannon Grove of Bakersfield, that's state senator in California, is leading a rally for Senate Bill 64 in California. That's a school choice flex account act, transforming K-12 education in California by giving parents the freedom to choose the best accredited schools for their children, funding flowing to the student. Now, I doubt it can pass in California because it's the California legislature, but it sure is worth supporting. It's State Senate Bill 64 in California. There's a hearing on March 19th to support this legislation. That's tomorrow. There's a press conference tomorrow as well. School choice is such a big issue. It is the civil rights issue of our days. A kid should not be bound to a school based on the zip code in which they live. It's wrong. It disproportionately hurts minority students, many of whom do have ways out. And you know, the logic of those who oppose school choice is that, well, not every child can get out. Well, no, but if you allow more kids to get out, you're also freeing up resources in the public school for smaller class sizes, for teachers to spend one-on-one time with the kids there. It's a no-brainer of an issue. And, you know, here's the reason it probably won't pass in California. Every state that has embraced school choice has moved to the right. Every single state that has embraced school choice has become more Republican. Why? Because Democrats are so tied to teachers' unions. Once parents get a taste of school choice for their kids, they don't want to give it up. And as Democrats are so tied to teachers' unions, the voters, non-white voters in particular, move to the right and start voting Republican because they know if they can get their kid the best education possible, their kid will be set up for success in college. You know, we talk about the national unemployment rate all the time. It's like 4% right now, or 4.1%. Do you know the unemployment rate for college-educated workers in America is about 2%? The rest of it is non-college educated. Conservatives make a big deal about you don't have to go to college now. You can get a technical degree. You can be a plumber. You can be an electrician. You can, but also keep in mind that the highest unemployment in the country are people without a college degree. A college degree still opens many more doors in this country than not. And to get into college, you need a good high school education, and that you need school choice. So if you're interested in this, Senate Bill 64 is having a hearing tomorrow in Sacramento, a state school choice bill. God bless those of you in California supporting it.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
If you're in college, or let's say you have a kid who's in college or going soon, I want to tell you the hottest thing right now is to go in a college program where you work, not just wherever, but you work in jobs that are in the field of what you're studying. And it lets you stand above the crowd. This is the #1 way for someone to take a college degree and be successful with it after graduating from college. College is so expensive, it's better actually to stretch college to get that degree to 5 or 6 years working while in school, so that when